Let me ask you guys a question. What do you do for storing, categorizing record of photographs?
I haven't had physical photographs in a long time, but I have a lot of albums. But nowadays it's just digital.
Which way are you talking?
Like how, like family pictures or vacation trips, or you know what I mean, like your kids growing up, or fucking, you know what I mean.
6 albums. Like the last time I had an album had photos, I think it was high school. It was just like fucking 20 years ago.
I'd say the last ones we had was probably some vacations we took here and there. Kelly used to do she used to do scrapbook shit, but after we just have binders of pictures, and it's literally just thrown in the corner right now because we still never look at them.
Yeah,
I have looked at them once in a while because they're so old. So they're not recent at all. They're like high school or when I was a kid in Hong Kong or much younger. My parents are taking pictures.
Yeah, I asked because I think that film used to keep us accountable
for
pictures. Film used to keep us accountable. Film used to keep us having to develop our shit and have it.
Right.
And now that it's digital,
that's on my phone.
I think we take it for granted.
That's fair.
And I think stuff has a wider or broader chance to kind of fall through the cracks.
I mean, it's just so much more in volume. Also, you're not limited in you just snapping pictures all day, every day.
Right. But
it's not as special to take your picture anymore.
Yeah.
Or have your picture taken or whatever.
I'm thinking about going back. This would be a hell of a task, right? But I'm thinking about going back and uploading everything to something like Snapfish or fucking Shutterfly or one of those picture server things.
Yeah.
And starting to make books that would all look identical. You know what I mean? Of photos and put everything from old family photos as far back as we have them, which for my wife is she's got shit from Europe and
wow,
and then I've got not as much, but but combine it,
I don't know how those specific sites work, but modern categorization is pretty easy. If you tag photos, right? You can say this is family, and every person that's in it, location or vacation or whatever. So when you go to type in search, you're vacation, and all vacation photos should show up. Or, this person, then automatically you don't have to get stuck with just a picture that could fit into both, multiple places.
I think I want to just make it chronological.
Oh, just straight up,
just time, and move through it, and then it would force me to go back through a lot of these. I found this old CD book with tons of pictures on CDs from the before social media era, but we're past film era. You know what I mean? This awkward space and time in the early 2000s. And just going through them, I was like, man, fuck, I forgot all about this shit. And it kind of on one hand, it made me happy because I have them. And on the other hand, it bummed me out because I had forgotten about them, memories and moments. And
it's too much to keep track of. I mean, the longer you live, right? 40 years worth of moments.
Life. Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited about a little project. I think it's going to be fun. And then they'll get rid of all those big bulky photo albums and kind of streamline them into tighter little books. They'll all look identical, line the bottom shelf of shit with them, and move forward. But it's going to be quite the undertaking. I'm thinking about buying a bullshit laptop, just to handle it.
Yeah.
Just to handle pictures. And
that's fair.
Get a good external drive, something.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that it's
when was the last time you had it's finite though, because you have a lot to go through, but it ends at some point.
Yeah. But it's a lot. It's a fucking lot. I was actually overwhelmed a bit. Oof. When I saw how many discs, and that's just the disc, let alone the shit that's on the computers, the shit that's on our phones, the shit that's on social media, the shit that's in albums, the shit that's in boxes that were given to us from people that died. Here's some family photos of, shit like that. So, but I'm excited about the prospect of it. I just hope I live long enough to make it happen. But yeah, I just think that the photograph and the record keeping of memories is like it's becoming a thing of the past. If you're not diligent about posting shit on social media, like if you're a more private person, like in the last 10 years, I've become a more private person on social media where I don't post a whole lot of pictures in a public space because I don't want them to get used against me. I don't want somebody to crack the code, find them, and then use them against me. Really, is what.
But you still take pictures, so they are
correct. But they're not now. They're not organized because it's on multiple phones throughout time. Before they all transferred over easily.
Oh, they're not on a cloud.
They're not all on the cloud because I had phones before I had the cloud. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's this cat and mouse game of it all. But anyway, so it's just I don't want it to get lost. I think I want it to be preserved in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, memory is a funny thing because you don't remember what you forget.
Right.
But then you. I don't know how,
but I don't
know how
like
storage space.
Not to sweat though.
I don't know how storage space works in the brain because you don't think about this stuff, but like you look at the pictures, like I remember that.
Yeah.
So like it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
You just have to like
you have to index the catalog and find the memory.
Yeah. It's just funny, man. It was just there's just like little things. I was like, man, fuck, dude. Like I was fucking out of my mind at this point here, and this, like it's almost like dude, what were you doing? Like
it's a lot of that for me.
You needed a big bro in your life. So anyway, I mean, we just recorded on Friday, and now we're back again on Monday.
Days. It's been 3 days. How have you been in the last 3 days, gentlemen?
Yeah, so it might be a briefer show, but we'll go ahead anyway and go through the motions of it. Joe, you got your coffee first. Chris, how was your Nerd Week? Nerd Weekend.
Nerd Weekend. It was pretty good. Cyberpunk 2.0. I played a fuck ton of that. The cops really tried to get me, but I
love it. Love cops chasing you.
Well, so the new big update is there's car combat to start with. So a lot of the cars actually are weaponized, but
do they turn into robots?
Not yet. No, that's after the Fast and Furious crossover comes in.
I think it's Transformers.
Fingers crossed.
Vin Diesel is Dom Toretto 2077. He's like half cybernetic.
He's half cybernetic now.
I'll tell you, him and Jason Statham.
That's him. Yep.
Two of the most disappointing acting careers for me in the past decade.
Pays the bill.
It's too bad. I'll let him know next time I see him.
Yeah, just like Boiler Room.
That was great.
To what he
but
ended
it was really a bit part though.
Yeah,
I mean that was that one scene.
No,
right?
he's in the movie. He's a supporting cast member, but he's acting. He's like proper acting in that shit.
But the scene, and I send this to people in what I do for a living. The Reco, that bit where he gets on the phone and gives the guy like, you can only buy 2,000. Why would I ever buy 2,000? Why can't I buy more? I'll take the 2,000.
Right.
Like that strategy is so fucking good for sales in general.
And then Statham in Lock, Stock, and Snatch and all that, and then like just what they ended up kind of becoming, like these like caricatures of sorts.
Yeah.
Expendables cast.
Oh gosh. I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, it's Cyberpunk. Hello. So the car combat's a big thing, and the cops are a lot more aggressive and actually roll up in cars. And I don't know if I don't remember how far I'd gotten, but they have like a tank that they'll bring at a certain level of involvement. And boy, that's a fun thing to steal because it's basically.
It's like
it's a tank,
right?
It's got rockets that shoot up and back down that you can target, and it's been a lot of fun. I haven't done any really missions or anything because I've played the game so many times.
So it's just GTA 2077,
pretty much. And I think tomorrow, maybe the 26th, the DLC drops.
Phantom Lamp, really? Yeah.
I'm gonna be a ghost.
Yeah.
For a couple of days, so probably knock some of that out. So let me ask you guys a question. When you go to a website and you're shopping for something and then you put it in the cart and either forget about it, get busy doing something else, or like, I don't want to pay it because of the shipping or whatever. And you get that nice little email reminder.
You should have something in your cart.
Well, guess who does that?
Who?
Crashbox Customs. So it's called an abandoned cart, right? So if you say, Bobby, you come to the website and put 4 things in there and never hit the button, we'll send you the nice little email, which is good. I don't know what our return rate on that is, but what sucks about it is when we close the website, all those abandoned carts can still check out. So
Oh no.
we had two orders, which I'm not complaining. It was significant, but I'm like, I needed to work on other stuff. But so I spent a good portion of the past Saturday and Sunday building dioramas, which I hadn't done in a while. So
Bonus business.
yeah, I can't complain about that. So I did get a chance to watch a bunch of stuff because I was doing that. I mentioned last week I started a show called Wrestlers that was on Netflix, and I finished that. And if you ever really want a peek inside of the way that independent wrestling works, like what I did, that's probably the best example of it. Even the characters in the show are almost stereotypes of the kind of people you're going to run into. You know, the wily veteran, the guy that's got probably more legal problems than we should talk about.
Right.
The girl he dates that also wrestles, that they have a very aggressive relationship.
That involves alcohol, abuse, and methamphetamines.
Yeah, didn't see the meth, but they did smoke a lot of weed.
They're not there yet.
It was, and I will tell you, one of the most shocking things I've ever seen in any sort of reality show like this. They're having this conversation between like the guy who's bought into this, who's some radio, like local radio, like sports talk guy that everybody knows in town. He's bought into this company. And then like the people who are like doing the creative and the day to day, and it's a pretty tense conversation. So the dude that's the radio guy has a fucking like seizure. Just all of a sudden his face starts locking up and he starts moving his head. It was fucking horrifying. And I'm just, of course they make it into a cliffhanger at the end of that episode, but like, fuck. So it turns out the dude it's like, yeah, this happens every once in a while. You guys have never seen it before. He's like, and the guy gets emotional. He's like, the worst part about it for me is looking at the people that are worried about me and I can't tell them that I'm okay. He's like, and he broke down. But it's like that actually, it's strange as that seems, it like broke the wall down between the problems they were having relationship wise. It's like that moment of vulnerability, I guess. So, Kelly and I watched The Goonies this weekend.
Wow.
Hadn't seen that in a long time. It's fine.
Need any figures?
It's just fine.
It's fine. No, I don't know either.
That shit's classic.
It is. Yeah, but nostalgia is only good for I don't know. It's like it's a good story. But
I used to think that dude Mouse was so cool when I was a kid.
Feldman?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Like when I was watching that movie, like his character.
I heard
like, man, that dude's cool, man.
I heard the Hollywood elite thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe a little too cool.
Yeah.
But members only jacket, just walking around talking shit. I was like, dude, I like this dude.
And part of it is as long in the tooth as I am. Hello, that dropped like it was hot. Is the movie so ridiculous? Like, how did that chip get in there? How is that wood not rotted?
Yeah.
It's definitely a fun romp. So we'll leave it at that. So in reading like some follow up on, I love you guys probably do too. If you watch some reality show or even if it's just came out, obviously it was filmed last year. So I'm like kind of Googling these and reading about this, and they're like, if you like this, you should try on Apple TV show called Monster Factory, which is about a wrestling it's a wrestling school called the Monster Factory that's actually in New Jersey. So I actually got Kelly to watch that one with me. I think it's 7, another odd number of episodes. And both these shows kind of we're building to the big event, and what's going to happen. Monster Factory was good. I probably liked it better than the other one just because it seemed to have a more logical storyline and there wasn't as much drama. So there's a kid that has Tourette's that wrestles. There's a guy that's like completely like
It's a gimmick or just
no, he legit is. Yeah, both. The best gimmicks are the real thing. There's a girl who
living his raps.
There's a girl who gets signed to the WWE wall. That's on the show. Of course, I read afterwards. I'm like, oh, she's already come and gone. They let her go already. So. That was
fast, huh?
Yeah, that was a fun show. A couple more episodes of the Welcome to Wrexham, the Ryan Reynolds soccer team story.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
That's a fair amount though for 3 days.
It really was, but most of it was passively watched because I was working on dioramas and shit.
When we were talking on Friday, we were in the throes of HasCon.
Oh yes,
now that has come and gone. First of all, I thought it was going to be a whole weekend.
HasCon Gone. I thought honestly when I watched part of it on Friday, and I might have mentioned on here, the 9 to 5 crowd probably was pretty bummed about that because it's on a Friday.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
is it
on
a physical
Friday.
convention?
No.
Okay.
But it's all like video panels and stuff. It's very COVID, to be honest, the way it's set up, which is fine because that's just what
But you can
people
just watch
expect.
the VOD afterwards.
Yeah, you can. But then,
Unless it's interactive. And is it live interactive?
I mean, there's like some contests you can enter, and I don't know how live.
No,
it
but
actually-
there's no like you can type in questions in the chat or whatever. No.
no, I don't think they were.
Then
doing
there's
that.
no point in watching it live.
Well,
You got to be first for the news, Joey.
target
You gotta
audience.
be first for the news.
Well, and to know at 4:00 everything
How are
goes
you
in
going to
order.
get the likes and shares,
and
Joey?
push a video by the end of the day.
If you don't, yeah, that's the hot take.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers get-
Reaction video?
Yeah, a real like I'm okay with a hot take. I just rarely see them. You know, they're like
just takes.
They're they're just takes.
Yeah.
They're room temperature takes.
So the only thing I got that was of any interest to me from anything was some of the new G.I. Joe stuff, which I pre-ordered.
So that's what
That
I was going to
great.
say.
It
Is
looks
that
great.
is that like G.I. Joe once again stole the show, and
Yeah.
once again they knew it. They put it fucking at the end,
Yeah.
like it had the longer segment. And yeah, the two Dreadnoks look fucking fantastic. And
Hawk looks great.
the dude
Shockwave looks great.
the dude that I asked you, I was like, what are the chances of them
Was that
ever-
Shockwave?
No,
Dude in the blue mask.
Blazo. That dude, he's like the. You couldn't remember his name the other time either. Now you're
Yeah,
more of a
look it
G.I.
up.
Joe.
So
Wait, was it one of the
He's
pre-orders?
got all,
that went in?
he's got all the missiles, or he's a pipeline reveal.
Oh, a metalhead.
Metalhead.
So yeah, that's like I have no idea who that is except you referencing.
Yeah, there was a question that we got one time about like who do you think they'll never get to that you'd like? And I was,
There you
and
go.
I was like Metalhead, and then here he is,
So they've kind of opened it up to where it's not just the
original.
well, you can't call it G1, G2, I guess.
Right.
The real American hero stuff to these other franchises that they've had over the years. And of course they show they're going to do a classic Duke and a classic
Scarlet, thank
I'm like,
God.
Okay, well that's fine. I just wish you had done that to start with. And
Yeah, well, I think that
You know?
I think it was a trial and error. I think that they tried this new look and
based on the awful video game, that's
Yeah.
so crazy.
That no
And
one
I
played
think-
or even knew about.
I played it and it was awful.
And I think that some of them actually work. Some
of them do.
Like the ones that end up taking that design and making it look more realistically military.
Sure.
But when they add the space shit, that's where it gets goofy.
Battle Force 2000.
Yeah, like I like the realistic military take on these ridiculous character
Sure.
designs. There was one that I was always curious how they were going to handle it, because they've been kind of making them modern,
Yeah.
and tactical. I was like, man, how in the fuck are they going to do quick kick?
Oh, he's coming.
But he's coming.
He looks just like he's supposed to.
but he just looks like the cartoon. They didn't try to modernize him.
I mean, what are you going to do?
You can't-
But that was my question.
Give him a dragon tattoo.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought they were great. I pre-ordered all the major
Yeah,
characters.
I did too.
And I like the fact that they're doing all these troop building things for people that want that in their life.
Yeah.
you don't like.
It's
you
a
don't-
good way for them to make some money off
Sure.
of, and I think it's a really smart line.
And I think
You don't like it when the stormtroopers and stuff get released.
Yeah, so this is a bit different because they're like, this would be like if they only did stormtroopers and then only did sand troopers and then only did snow troopers and then only did biker scouts instead of just doing clone troopers over and over and over and over and over and over.
and this is the first time that I know of where they've made it where you can army build for G.I. Joe and not Cobra.
Yeah.
Because you've always just been able to buy as many troops
Minions.
but this is the first Prophet of the Faceless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Faceless troops that they have. Also, there's a grunt figure recently that came out that apparently has been $12 at Target. So people have been hoarding those like crazy to troop build. But
What do you like? I troop build in 40K. I did. What do you do with?
I don't often see what people do with them other than
What-
just say I have 50 of these.
So I think if you did like if I had the G.I. Joe Love in Space, right, that I did for, Transformers or Star Wars, and I took a whole, Billy section and did dioramas where I could spread those figures out, and then you could have like a, so to speak, and then you have like a core cast of characters on one shelf, and then sort of populate them with just random troops in the background, like putting magazines in or, cleaning something or, you know what I mean? Like, I think that that's cool.
I will tell you, I have a Billy dedicated to it, and I am out of space.
So I got 2 shelves. I'm hanging in there.
I'm completely out of space, and I could probably squeeze some more. No, we could go.
But you like troop build everything.
Yeah, but I don't even have troop builds. Like I have maybe 4 of something out, but like just the GI Joe cast, it's gotten so deep.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, I like
so to speak.
I've just done the 2 shelves, and the Cobra one is packed, and it looks packed, but the Joe one is spaced just right, where like it's filling in, but it looks great for it. It almost looks like the front, moment of the show or something.
Yeah,
like
the
all
splash
standing
page
together. Yeah, the Cobra one's packed, but there's like as I'm putting figures in the Cobra one, I'm finding this weird. It's like hot and cold. Like I'll put one figure in, and I'm like, "Fuck, it's gonna work." Look at it. It's filling in, and once it fills in beyond a certain point, then it starts to look right. And then I put another figure in. I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's too much," And then the next time I put a figure in, I'm like, "Oh, now that's good."
It's Goldilocks.
Yeah.
It's
You gotta balance it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. I'm on the road again next week. So
On the road again.
sorry everybody. I get to go to the dirty South.
Yeah.
To the ATL ho.
Get some Waffle House.
I'm planning on going to Waffle House. Yes.
Nice.
That's probably. I might go to Waffle
3
House.
a.m. though.
I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off. I got some early mornings for meetings.
Is ATL known for a particular food?
Waffle House.
It can't be known for a chain.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. Well, I mean, like what type of food?
Yeah, like Maryland has crabs, or New York has pizza and Chinese food, or
Peaches.
Peaches.
Oh yeah,
They come from a can though. They were put there by a man in a factory downtown.
It was a bad year for them. Like a lot. The crops were not
Crops
good.
are trash, dude.
it's ironic
I saw
because
so much burn up corn. This
Super Mario Brothers movie was so good,
Oh,
like
God damn it.
it's been a good year for Peach in some ways.
yeah. Georgia did not do good with peaches this year.
Yeah.
I think because of the weather or whatever.
Yeah, we're in a drought.
Just known for peaches and Tyler Perry and
Didn't Waffle House come from Georgia? No.
did it? I don't know, but it's like
yeah, I did.
I think
like,
yeah,
who
that's what I'm
gives a
saying.
shit, like
Waffle House? I give a shit about Waffle House.
No, it's not who
Tyler
gives a shit.
Perry?
No, it's not about who gives a shit about Waffle House. It's like Chick-fil-A, right? Like
Yeah.
a Chick-fil-A may have come from there as well.
The White Dwarf.
But I bet you it's not any less delicious here. You know what I mean? Like I bet you the Waffle House here isn't any less delicious.
I think it's just that shit's been there longer and it's better seasoned when they're cooking.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just older equipment.
Yeah. Oh my god, my mom just texted me.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Is that a picture of a random kid?
She sent me. She's been she sent me a link to COVID home tests.
Oh, that's sweet. I think.
Why? Random? Like no context?
No context.
You get those random texts with no
clues.
Maybe it's a mass text. You just like, oh, that's an interesting link, and just send it to everyone on her contact list.
She sent me. I guess she had a cataract removed recently, and she sent me information about that. And I almost responded back to her with this racist but funny joke. I don't know if it's racist.
They can be both.
Everything's all racist now, but like it's an Asian joke. Are you okay if I tell it,
Oh, of course.
Joey?
I love those.
Okay. So Chinese guy goes into the optometrist, right? And they have the exam and go through and everything, and the eye doctor comes back in at the end and says, I'm sorry to inform you, sir, but you have a cataract. And the patient said, impossible, I drive a Rinkin. I don't mean any harm. Don't come for me.
That's like that's. I've got one. It's probably. I don't want. I'm not saying it.
Go ahead. This is a safe space.
Fine. No, I can't because it's like so bad.
Well, there was one here.
I'll just say that the end of it, the Asian man pops up and says supplies because he was in charge of the supplies.
Okay.
But he pops up from behind a pile of gravel and says supplies.
Here's another one I saw. Since we're on the topic, actually, we'll make a German joke too. You ready? Here's a German joke.
Sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
Oh my goodness!
And
Shame.
Here's another one.
What's your scar? and tell the crazy story on how you got it.
So that's my scar. A dog trying to eat me. How the turntable heads.
What's the scar? And tell
It's an Asian lady.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's
jokes about
a
it.
great, like, best perk about being not white is being able to laugh at racist stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Well, we just do it in private.
Yeah.
But, I think that it's like I said before, man, the better we are at laughing at each other's differences, the better we are for it.
Yeah.
The biggest trick is pretending that we're all the same.
Yeah.
That we're not. And then we hold resentments about it. Anyway, Joey, your nerd week.
My nerd week is, let's see. Watch a movie on Netflix last night, Bobby. Another good one.
Oh no.
A Netflix original also.
Oh, really? What was
But,
it?
I mean, Netflix is fun to put out some decent stuff. The name of the movie is Paradise. It's a
Okay.
German movie, but it's English dub and works fine.
I don't like the sound of it so
doesn't-
far.
it doesn't-
Bloody tell you what.
It doesn't look out of place.
Uh-huh.
I guess the mouth shapes are close enough.
Historically, the Germans have a different idea of what paradise is than most of the world.
I mean, yes.
True here too, as well.
Well, we're in the near future now when they have discovered a technology, or they have invented a technology. This lady has invented technology to transfer lifespan.
What's the name of this?
Paradise. Because like her daughter has progeria, which gets old real fast. And
That's
so,
a type of watch, I think.
I thought that was a new Korean car company.
Or is it? Do they make crystal, like crystal stuff? No.
I think you're thinking about Pandora
that's music.
No, I'm thinking about that other place.
and jewelry.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it was too late. Her daughter died. But this technology is out there now. So you can sell your lifespan. You get a lot of money, right? You can sell your lifespan, and then really rich people buy it. And then it's like a reverse of age. Like, so let's say you sell 20 years of your life. It's not that you die 20 years sooner. You age 20 years directly from now. So you're 40.
Oh.
Yeah,
go straight
exactly.
to
It's
60.
different. It's
Yeah,
different.
it's different.
Yeah. So you like within a few days, you age to 60. They have a 60-year-old bought you 20 years. They'll go from 60 to 40 in a few days. But you have to. It's got to be a DNA match. So it's like a donor match, almost like a blood.
Right.
thing. So it's a big business, big company. There's people against it. There's people for it. People find it exploitative. Like, it starts off with this first scene is a guy who's a scout or sponsor looking for people to sell their lifespan. Talking to a 20-year-old kid who, with his whole family there, immigrants and in the slums and stuff. And he was like, I want to sell 5 years. And then the salesman was like, selling was like, you can get your whole family a better life if you sold 15 years. And then it was a back and forth, and this kid is 18 years old. 18. So he just became legal, and he's like, I'm not so sure, but eventually he gives in and sells 15 years of his life. And you don't see that family again, but it just gives you the idea of it. And comes to find out that not only is this like a voluntary buy-sell thing. What is voluntary? Buy-sell thing.
Right.
But you can use it as collateral, right? So, like, you want to buy a house. You don't have the money for collateral. You can put up some of your lifespan, right? So if something happens, you go bankrupt. You don't get to go bankrupt. Like, they take you in and they suck the life out of you, literally. So that sets up this world.
Been a minute since
it's
I had my soul sucked.
and
Hey,
yo,
Shang Tsung me.
Let me get them rings.
but this is the world that the movie set up in, and it tells a more personal story, but it has greater consequences. But this is really good. I thought it was really well done.
So by concept, it immediately reminds me of two things. One, I had to look up the name. It was Justin Timberlake.
In Time, yes.
In Time. Very
Yes.
similar concept.
Very similar concept, which I enjoyed that movie too. Like,
And also, I don't know if you guys saw. Oh shit! Sci-fi series that was on Netflix. The first season, Joel Kinnaman played the lead. The second season, Anthony Mackie played the lead. It was about like your soul is on altered carbon.
Yes.
Because it's kind of got those vibes to it too.
Yeah, but
I never finished the second season, but the first one was good.
Yeah, but this is an anime of it, which is not great. But this is a good movie. I'm going to put on your list. If you when you get Netflix next.
Any day now.
I mean, once a year, right? Once a year for 1 month, you can binge the shit out of all this stuff.
Yeah, I need to. I just haven't. But you know, I haven't even watched some of the shit that I have that I'm paying for. You know, I just haven't been in the mood to sit and watch television recently. Like, just hasn't been appealing to me. I don't know what that's all about, but like,
you also don't watch stuff in the background ever.
Yeah, like a documentary I might, but I just haven't been interested. Like it seems like such a waste of time to me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for a while. Like, I don't have time. I don't feel like sitting to watch something because I'm not actively doing something else.
Yeah.
But usually, you know, if it's me and Krista hanging out, watch over dinner or afterwards before bed, that's like the only time.
Yeah.
Other than that, during the day, I would never.
So I do that too, but I just end up crashing as soon as I lay down. Like,
yeah, you have that.
Yeah, it's like I'm like
you have that issue.
Yeah. I lie about it on my physical every year. Like for my DOT card or whatever, they're like, "Do you ever get tired sitting down?" I'm like, "No." Nah. How much of a book can you read? Oh, Moby Dick, whole one sitting, no problem. But I won't ever get sleepy. You know, just lie for every fun question.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, it helps you their insurance premium, but doesn't help them solve any problems you might actually have.
Well, I think the whole fucking world does. You know, I think probably anybody that has a Class B or Class A license like has to encounter that test once a year and thinks to themselves like, I know what answer I'm not supposed to say here.
That's a problem with things, right? It's a problem with it's a problem with job interviews too. Like, I've always hated the idea of job interviews, not because I don't want to interview for a job, because like
just so they're not authentic, they're not genuine.
It's worse now.
You're set up. You're supposed to lie. You know, like I don't know.
My biggest problem is I work too hard.
So the way most interviews are set up now is situational questions. And this is an actual question that tell me about a time when you formed an opinion about someone that wasn't true. Right. So, you know, was it, I don't know, somebody came in wearing bloody overalls that actually was beet juice and they were trying to buy a crystal. This is an Office reference. Because it happened to Dwight. Trying to buy this crystal statue with his beet money, and, well, they didn't let him come in because he... Right. You know, just things like that. Tell me about a time where when you were disappointed with your performance, and the way you answer is, tell me what happened and how would you change that to do better next time, and what did you learn from it? Just stuff like that.
It's a better format.
It is.
It used to be.
It is. Also, I've read this and I haven't seen it in person, but I can only imagine that if you apply for a job online, there's an algorithm that's between your submission and the person that's actually going to look at it, to the point where I saw somebody just put in a bunch of keywords and like the resume was crap. It was graduated from Hogwarts and just nonsense. They did 50 with their legit and 50 with their bullshit one, and they got interviews on the bullshit one and didn't get them because all it's doing is shoving it through to the hiring manager, who's like, "Oh, live body," probably doesn't even look at your credentials.
Yeah,
I
hate it.
It's the machine, guys.
Yeah,
it's the machine.
That's definitely a machine, but it's also like, you know, like just people will get like, that's one thing I tried to fucking tell the truth, you know, like when they asked me what my fucking weaknesses were, you know, and I was like, look, I'm overweight, I can't run, and I have poor handwriting. You know, it's fucking true, you know, and like, but you know, people always with I tend to never leave work at work. I'm like always thinking about work and always doing work at home, and makes my family angry because I'm just so dedicated to the job. And you know that sentiment's kind of fallen off. Has it?
There's a lot more emphasis on work-life balance in corporate America. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still people that are working 90 hours a week in an office somewhere, but I think COVID changed a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
Salary people are the ones that mostly get fucked over. Like, you get a few salary people like, oh yeah, work 30 hours a week and get paid for 40, but mostly it's like people working 50, 60 hours a week and paid for 40.
When I was in the auto parts stores and working in the stores, we were required to work 50 hours a week. That was just You 5-10 hour
Standard.
shifts. Yeah, that was what you did. Or actually, it was 11 because you were supposed to take a lunch, and nobody ever did. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I would work 70 hours sometimes working those places.
Yeah.
on salary.
I work a 48-hour work week every week.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of angst against corporate America in me lately. It bothers the shit out of me.
Yeah.
As things show up in partaking in media that, like, it's something I've always not like. Most people, I think, don't like. It's just that when it's in your face, the injustices of it all fucks you up. Watched Thinner. It's a very old.
I cuss you.
Yeah, Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
Chris hasn't watched it. 90s. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was cool. I think it's because we watched Outsider, which is the Stephen King thing.
I started that,
Oh, you did, you?
but I did it laying down.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she didn't realize how much. I think most people don't realize how many things are actually Stephen King. That's been.
Oh yeah, yeah. Shawshank.
Yeah. Green Mile.
Yeah, Green Mile.
Fucking Running Man. Even the Running Man with Arnold. That's a it's a short story from.
I'm always surprised with the ones that aren't like horror.
Yes,
You know?
yeah, because he's known for
Right.
horror, right? But yeah, she didn't. And you know, last week, 3 days ago, I was like, he doesn't always have the best endings, but it's not like more often bad than or not good, right? There are, I don't know if it's 50-50, but quite a few of his movies and stories have decent endings.
Yeah, Misery, Shining. You know, it's just like it's a lot of that like 80s stuff he was doing, like The Langoliers and Stand and It, and it was a
The
lot
Lawnmower Man.
of Lawnmower. It was a lot of that stuff. It was a lot of like his.
He was
80s
on a streak, man. I mean, if he wrote it down, they would make a movie.
Yeah.
The Fog.
We're still there.
Oh, it's a horrible ending.
The Mist.
The Mist, that's the one I'm thinking of. Thomas Jane.
I like the ending.
It's brutal.
And I mean, brutal doesn't equal bad. I'm talking about bad as in bad
Okay.
storytelling.
It's not a bad story. Yeah, there is. He can't finish the story. I mean, the truth is his endings aren't nearly as good as his
Concepts.
concepts.
That's what I'm saying. That's
needs
like
somebody to
that's
help
kind of
him
like
flesh this shit
the trope of him, right? But I don't know if that's true.
All right, well, let's look. Let's see
there are
if
quite
we
a
can
few things
find-
with decent. Running Man has a good, decent enough ending. I think The Mist has a decent enough ending.
No, it does. It does.
See,
But Carrie, Firestarter, Cujo, Salem
Actually,
Slot,
even Carrie's ending isn't great.
Pet Cemetery.
Stephen King movies. Let's take a look and see if we.
There's
can-
a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Desperation yet.
So Pet Cemetery. Mr. Harrigan's Phone. I haven't seen that one.
Gerard's Game was a new one.
Firestarter.
Yes.
I haven't seen that one.
It's Prodigy.
Shawshank Redemption's actually, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that one.
Oh, sorry. The Green Mile, I believe.
Yeah, we mentioned that one too. Creep Show.
Really? I
With the
didn't know
shorts.
that.
Yeah. Pretty
It.
shorts.
Gerald's Game.
Gerard's Game. Yeah, it was on
Oh,
Netflix last week.
Gerard. Is that how you spell it?
I think so.
All right. The Dark Tower. Cell. Never seen that. Mercy. Never seen that. A Good Marriage. Never seen that. Carrie. Bag of Bones. I feel like he's running out of titles now.
He's written like 70 something books, bro.
Dolan's Cadillac. Children of the Corn.
Turn the corn.
1408.
But no, I did not have a good ending.
Malachi.
The Mist. Desperation. Riding the Bullet. Secret Window. Ellen Remembauer. Dreamcatcher.
Oh, Dreamcatcher is
Hearts in Atlantis.
that's Anthony Hopkins.
That's another one that's like, what? Like, Apt Pupil. I forgot about that one.
Oh, gosh.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
I didn't know that was Stephen King.
Sometimes They Come Back. Quicksilver Highway. The Night Flyer.
Oh, the Nightfly. That's a vampire one.
Thinner. Let's see here. The Mangler. Needful Things. That had a shit ending.
I like the. Well, that's the thing, right? He makes good journeys.
Sleepwalkers. That was trash. And then The Lawnmower Man, and that's not all of them. Because what about the Langoliers?
No, there's a
because they
lot.
were made for TV.
Well,
movies,
yeah, a lot of it's made for TV.
Stand By Me.
I saw
Oh yeah, Stand By Me.
I saw a clip of it was Stephen King and George R.R. Martin, the guy who writes Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones.
who is still writing the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
and they were talking about their creative process, and Stephen King says his goal, if he's like, I normally write in 3-month bursts, and my goal is to write 6 pages every day, like ready to turn in every day.
Oh, to turn in, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at his body of work versus Fire and Ice.
So it's funny, they have it ranked, all of his movies, in terms of the tomato meter. So guess what number 1 is?
Good score or bad score?
Best score.
I was thinking it's like Shawshank.
Shawshank Redemption.
So that would definitely be my guess too.
What is it instead?
It's Carrie,
Wow.
the original,
The original, not the. I haven't watched the remix.
with a 93%.
Sissy Spicy.
2 is Stand By Me. 3 is Shawshank at 91. 4 is Misery.
Yeah.
5 is Dead Zone, which I don't even think
Oh,
I've
it's because
seen.
of a Walken.
Yeah. 1983. And then 6 is 2017's It. 7.
I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
You don't like Spider Monsters, but I think it was good.
I like it up until the Spider Monster. 7 is Dolores Claiborne. I've never seen that.
Hold on. What? I might have seen that. Let me look that up.
Small New England town. Dolores Claiborne works as a housekeeper for the rich, but heartless Vera.
But a lot of his stories takes place in Maine and New England.
Yeah. Number 8 is The Shining. I feel like that's so low. Like, I feel like that should be in the top 5. Number 9 is 1408. 10.
Really, I need to watch it again because I didn't. That's one of those movies that I did not enjoy.
Yeah, 10 is
John Cusack and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, and you hate John Cusack, right? Isn't that?
I will never on purpose watch a film with it. If he's a supporting role, but like I don't want to see him lead anything, but maybe his dog to take a shit.
10 is
don't like him.
10 is The Green Mile. 11 is Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep was good.
12 is The Mist. 13 is Christine. 14
Oh, I
is
forgot Christine the car.
Cat's Eye. 15 is The Running Man. 16 is Creep Show. 17 is It Part 2. 18 is The Boogeyman.
It's funny they separate those.
Yeah, because the It Part 2 is the one that deals with the spider monster, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's one story, though. Oh, I guess
Yeah,
I guess the
but
first
they
movie
split
does
them.
end. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does end. Yeah.
19 is Cujo,
The dog.
which is only at a 59%.
People don't like violence against dogs, bro.
20 is The Dark Half. 21, Pet Cemetery. 22, At Pupil. 23, the original Pet Cemetery. 24, Carrie, the 2013 one. 25, Big Driver. 26, Hearts in Atlantis. 27, Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
28, Secret Window. 29, The Harrigan's Phone. 30, Silver Bullet. Oh, dude, I loved that when I was a kid.
That's a werewolf?
Yeah. 31 is Children of the Corn. 32 is Firestarter. 33 is Lawnmower Man. 34 is The Night Flyer. 35 is A Good Marriage. 36, Needful Things.
Can we stop at 40?
Well, them were just right around the corner.
Oh,
you know?
fuck. It's 50. Never mind. Go ahead.
37 is Children of the Corn 2. 38 is Creepshow 2. 39 is Sleepwalkers. 40, Dreamcatcher. 41, The Mangler. 42, Carrie 2, The Rage. 43, Riding the Bullet. 44, Pet Cemetery 2. 45, The Dark Tower. 46, Maximum Overdrive. 47, Children of the Corn, the 2020 version.
Oh, I didn't know that was the 2020 version.
48 is Thinner with a 16% rating.
Holy
on
shit.
Tomatoes.
I liked it.
49 is Cell. I've never even. Oh, that's the John Cusack and somebody else. I can't tell. Yeah, that's 11%, and then 50 is the Firestarter remake in 2022.
Wow, I can't believe the remake
with
was the
11.
original.
Oh wait, there's 52. 51 is Lawnmower Man 2.
What? Why is that Lawnmower Man 2?
And
Some of these I didn't know it was a sequel.
in 52, I don't know if I've ever seen this before. 52 is Graveyard Shift from 1990, and it has a 0%.
Wow.
I wonder if it didn't come out or something.
Graveyard Shift? I don't even.
Oh, if it's just not rated then the 0, that would make sense.
Yeah, there's no consensus. 10% for Lawnmower Man 2.
That's crazy. But so like, yeah. So we watched Thinner, and then we it's hard to it's hard to find his movies. Like he has like movies here sprinkled throughout in streaming, but like some of them are still rent only because I guess they're good. Misery is not streaming anyway. I'll go ahead and pirate it. That's fine. But there's not a place where there's like a Stephen King catalog that I know of.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, right? Because nobody owns it.
And it's
like,
probably different studio. I
right,
don't think
exactly. He's working with different studios and different businesses. So that makes sense.
I'm hoping the Dark Tower series will come out and will be good because it's made by people I like.
The comic was cool.
Yeah. And Omnibus is coming out of the comic.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I only have like it's so shallow of me, but as soon as Jay Lee stopped drawing it, I just stopped reading it. Just kind of want to look at this anymore. Dude, I just find his stuff so beautiful. All the heavy shadows.
Yeah. Say that to say this, we started another Stephen King TV series that's highly rated. Got 2 seasons on Hulu called Castle Rock.
Okay.
Takes place in the town of Castle Rock, which a lot of it, like Derry and Castle Rock, are like 2 fictional towns that's in the Stephen universe, not the cartoon.
I like that show.
But yeah, so we just started two episodes in. It's very intriguing, but it does tie into the rest of his universe because like this takes place in like a big part of this movie so far takes place in Shawshank, the prison, which is in Castle Rock,
Really?
a town. Yeah,
Interesting.
But there's
Andy Dufresne in the movie.
is who?
Andy Dufresne.
No,
He was my best friend. All those years, he dug that hole behind that poster, and they never noticed.
We ain't talking about the game.
That's right. We're talking about Andy Dufresne.
Practice.
but I'm sure I'll be done with it by the time I come back next because I always binge everything. But so far, it's super interesting. I have no idea what's going on. They found a guy in the prison in a cage, but not in a cell, like in a cage in a boiler. And the warden killed himself. Apparently, the warden was the one who's keeping this kid, who is the same person who played it. Scar.
Oh, okay.
Something Scar. He's a very creepy looking guy.
What did I watch recently that somebody had kept somebody in a cage? Like
That's porn. Is that porn?
Damn. No, not at all. He went to like it was like this dude and he came from like a rougher it was a Matt Damon movie.
Matt Damon?
Yeah, and I think I talked about it here. I can't remember, but it was actually pretty good, but he went to Europe because his
yeah.
I think it
kind of plays
South
like
America.
a rugged Southern gentleman. Yeah,
his kid got locked up for a crime that she didn't do, and he finds the person that did it, and he's supposed to be living a whole new life now, like out there. He's got a new wife and adopted kid, and he finds the person that can provide the evidence for her innocence, and he basically locks him in this basement in this apartment building. So it's not even his basement; it's just a basement. It's pretty fucked up, but a good movie.
Interesting.
Yeah,
People get locked up in cages.
yeah.
So that, and I am continuing to play Final Fantasy Remake. That's more. That's some like gaming show event that happened, and Square was there to show like 30 minutes of the sequel footage that's coming out. Big event, bro. I'm so looking forward to it. There's a lot of mini games in this game. The analog sticks, the 2 sticks on the controller.
Yeah,
they have emulated like how to play a whole piano on just those 2 sticks alone. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. They have a mini game where just like any Guitar Heroes or whatever, you have to follow the thing to play the music, follow the cues, but you can actually get good enough if you're a pianist to like just play music with 2 analog sticks.
that's crazy.
Like, who invents shit like that? But it's great. But I'm in my feels. I'm really fucking looking forward to it. I'm like, February's not too far away, which is perfect. I would say 6-month window, man. Don't fucking tell me anything that's coming out longer than 6 months away because I just get mad. But this is perfect, and the hype train is building good momentum. And last, look. This is gonna be a busy month
for your work.
Yeah, I'm off mostly just 1 day a week for the next 4 weeks or so because of the flu clinic. But flu clinic's not bad. I'm doing drive-through too. Like I'm like outside.
Oh,
fucking old ladies just driving them, just poking them, and then
I was going to say
sending them off.
And probably not much to it, right?
It's much less, like even the sit-down clinic is much less stressful than being in a pharmacy. Like I get paid the same, but like I just give shots all day.
and you're working. We're recording Wednesday next week, right? And then you said Friday is the only one that you have for the week after.
Yeah,
the
and
13th.
after that,
should work also.
after that, I have 2 days. I have like Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. So
Okay.
like,
all right, cool.
we're pretty lined up for the next few. Me and you, anyway.
Yeah.
Pinkertons.
Yeah, I'm just blowing in the wind over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it for my notebook. Here's a thing,
Topic of conversation.
and just an observation, because of all the true crime stuff, and then also like Stephen King. Like I love this things with people dying, in random places, and you'll see them too, right? In life, crosses on the road,
Yeah.
Yeah.
full of, in my opinion, trash.
No, like flowers and
teddy
pictures
bears,
and yeah.
and like, I don't get it. I've always just accepted as part of society is what people do, but I don't understand. I don't understand it. Yes, who is it for other than work for someone to do to clean up? Because it doesn't do anything there, right? It doesn't dissolve. It doesn't fucking go away. No one picks it.
Yeah.
You are just littering.
I will say I don't see it nearly as much up here as I did down south. It's everywhere down south.
So I think that to me it's almost in the like I think it actually serves a couple purposes. So like there'll be times where I'm driving and I'll see it, right? Like on the side of the road where it's like obviously from a wreck or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it will be like a little reminder to me like, man, like, you know, be careful out here. Like, you know,
I think at the best, that's what it does.
but I also,
and just a marker would do.
but well, so I also think it's like, it doesn't bother me, right? I'm relatively indifferent about it because on one hand, I'm like, man, like grieving is fucking rough. And however people get through it, like that doesn't, you know, really harm somebody, like by all means get through it. But like, I think that it ultimately usually makes something look better. It's kind of like graffiti to me, like on a train or something, right? Like you have this steel, cold, functional, pragmatic train on a train track. Its only objective is to transport people to and fro. And then somebody paints it. And now to me...
That's the difference between art and graffiti, though. What is art, though, right?
Oh, come on.
Sure.
But you know, like, it's just people, like, carving dicks in the fucking wall. What, you know?
Right.
No,
and that I feel differently about. But
That's
like,
graffiti, too.
But that's not what I'm talking about. You know, obviously. But I think that when I see that, I'm like, man, like it's just a guardrail. Now it's a guardrail with flowers and something else on it. Like it's a better looking guardrail to me. You know?
Here's a so you know you play some video games and it's like it shows you where everybody died. Okay. This is awful to say. What if you pulled,
this is awful
what if you
conversation.
pulled up your Waze and you know
And you
how
find
it's got like the marker where the cops are sitting or whatever, and what
It's got like a skull and crossbones.
all these little
like,
crosses everywhere on your Waze app. There's all these places where people have died in traffic accidents.
I mean, you can actually
crazy.
pull that up on the map. Like, there's, you know, crime maps
Oh,
and stuff. You can
no.
pull up, like,
no,
like how many accidents.
Joe,
and
this
what
is
intersection.
hypothetical.
But
Stop
this
it.
is real. You can say, like, oh, yeah, 20 people died in this intersection, and they put a light in there after that.
yeah.
But I mean, I don't, because someone has to pick that shit up.
yeah,
too. It's just same with even graveyards. Like, who are you leaving the flower for other than the janitor?
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it makes people feel better,
That's all. That's all.
That's the thing, though, right? To me, not just this, but a lot of things I often bring up and talk about is that idea that people, just like the machine, people do things to do things.
Yeah.
People do things because they're told.
Right.
People do things because that's what you're supposed to do without ever fucking taking a second to think, does this make sense?
yeah.
Is this actually serve a purpose? Just like fucking diamond rings, right? I detest a diamond ring. I detest like people who like, I need a big diamond, or I better get a big diamond ring, or without actually enjoying the look of a diamond or something. 'Cause
Right.
some people do. But
Right.
a lot of people, it's just the idea. of it.
Yeah. So I think that you're right. I think it is part of the machine. I just don't think it does any harm. It's like,
It's littering.
Yeah, but it's not litter. Like, okay, so like if the world was litter free,
Yeah, right.
you know,
I mean, it's,
but like
it's
it
already
fucking
not.
beats the 3 fucking COVID masks laying on the side of the road. You know what I mean? Like, I think that like it's sometimes it can be part of the machine, but I also think that there's some shit that's like that can be meaningful to it. You know what I mean? Like you can take
for about 3 days before it's
yeah,
you know.
But I mean,
Rain down here in Maryland becomes fucking muck.
yeah, but you know, sometimes you can't judge meaning based on the everlasting nature of it. I just crushed a thing of tortellini last night that was very meaningful to me, but it lasted about 5 minutes. You know, so I think that like I think it can be people going through the motions. You know, of course. I just with grieving, man. I was just like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, man, I just get out of the way. Like as long as nobody's gonna hurt themselves or somebody else, because like, you know, that shit, the loss of loved ones just turns people inside out.
I mean, I understand. It's just that's one thing I think the Chinese have it right because I showed you the funeral my grandma had. Mm-hmm. We do people do like to give things to the dead,
right?
And back in the day, the pharaohs, whatever,
right?
Or even now, you bury them in their favorite clothes.
Yeah,
bury them with the fucking jewelry or whatever that they like, which is fine to me. It's like it's also a little bit weird to me, but that's a whole just a whole picking up a really really expensive, nicely carved and finished and cushioned box to put in the ground to rot. The whole business is fucking weird.
Yeah, we have a huge one near us.
Thacker's casket. I mean,
I always imagine because we live near a theme park. Also, it's like a little cheesy.
They're across the street from each other.
Yeah, I always imagine like somebody like Simpsons style, like coming free on the roller coaster and like going through the window of Thacker caskets and like landing directly into, and then the fucking lid
closed. Perfect. That's the kind of comedy we were raised on. I mean, I don't like Daddy. I think I was partly has to do with my upbringing, partly because my brain works funny that I think that this stuff because like we burn stuff like in my not that I will, but the culture that I'm raised with, when you burn something, it dies in this world and goes to the other world, and your intentions of where it goes happens, right? You burn this money, this afterlife money or whatever, for
I got that afterlife money.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a whole like you saw, right? There's like paper mache cars and house
and dolls,
which are supposed to end up to be servants.
Yeah,
like it's all crazy, but it more logic to it. Like they're getting it on the other side,
right?
Like you leaving something here, but also like we don't have much space in Hong Kong, right? So like burial, if you can get a burial, is temporary. Like they dig you back up and put you and eventually usually either cremate you or you pick up the bones. It's a whole event where like you as a family you go grab the bones of your loved one and you put it in a jar or some shit. But like even the space in which you put the urn is also temporary. You rent the shit out. It's extremely expensive to actually buy a place for a dead person because they're no longer need space in life.
Wow.
So like, and also like the whole, it makes sense to me, the ashes to ashes, dust to dust thing. Like you go back into the earth and it's recycled.
Yep.
Right? You circle
it's
of life.
going to happen either way. Right?
Mostly, yeah. So I don't understand like this dead body farm that we make call a cemetery that is just like full of boxes to preserve the bodies.
I wonder where that started. I wonder if we did it, you know, as people.
Oh, I know why. Because they didn't want people coming back to life. That's why I'm pretty sure we started burying people.
I wonder if there was also rot. Like you didn't want to be around the smell.
So that's probably a big part.
Well,
Rotting.
I understand burying people, but like you just pine wood, whatever.
Yeah,
that would also rot.
Yeah, that was just a side note for me thinking of like, man, how did that shit start? It is a strange I guess like that is what happens, right? Like, yeah,
That's like, I mean, that's the as human beings, as we are selfish things. It's fine. It's normal. Like, it's so much so that like even the dead can't go back to the earth. Once we've taken from it, we don't even fucking want to go back to it now, because those boxes don't actually prevent it. That's why you can excavate bodies 20, 30 years later for a crime. The boxes is still a fucking box, and a dead body is still fucking in there. It does not go back to the earth. But I like the that's why every time I see the innovative burial things or body disposal things, I'm all about it. Even when I was in high school, I was like, bury me and plant a tree on me. I'll become the tree. That's supposed to be a thing now, but like a pod thing where, and then there's the one where they put your body in this tank and like something happens with the water where like all your flesh is like liquefied and then recycled and
wow,
and then become.
I'm getting cremated,
and then and something happens to your bones. Cremation is cool, it saves space, but also it is just scientifically a waste, mostly because that you're turning your body into heat energy mostly, and ashes, which can be useful when you spread, but like the burnt up part is gone. It's not usable.
Yeah. Well, so I've taken enough shits in my life to cover the fertilization part of that.
Well, I mean,
anytime you burn something, like it's just material lost to the ecosystem.
Yeah, I've given enough. A little something for me at the end.
Sending my body to the other side, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, to the other side. Yeah.
There you go.
I think most of it is just an attempt to make people here, the people left behind, right? The people that had to deal with the pain feel better. Like in some way, shape, or form, all of it. Like, like even like funerals, right? Like the first thing you hear at a funeral is like, like, damn, like they look great, like then they did a great job.
That's weird to me,
They did
man.
a great job. And usually I feel like rarely is it that.
No, it's a dead body.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but usually you look like it's not that great of a job.
Right.
They look like a monster.
Yeah, it's off.
Yeah, but it's just like something
that's not how
that people say and go through the motions, like to feel better about having to deal with this shitty fucking circumstance.
Yeah, I that's the one thing I don't get either. Like I specifically remember my last conversation with my grandma, and the last time I saw her, and it was good. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't like I get it if like last time you saw somebody you loved to die was like I hate you or
or they were in a hospital sick.
Yeah, exactly. I don't if they're that bad of shape. I'm not sure the funeral people can do any better.
Me neither. But at least them in a dress is going to look better than them with all the tubes and all the fucking.
That's where your albums come in. Do you know? I'm like for like I want to remember people I love at their best.
Yeah, for sure.
Not after they die or at their worst. So I don't. I'm peculiar with death, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think you're peculiar. I think that most of the time death impacts us so much that we don't question a whole lot about the ritual surrounding it. It's only when we're not going through it.
Well, it's part of people not being able to let things go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know? Like
sometimes letting things go is hard.
Of course it's hard, but like you got to do it. Well, you don't have to, but it's something you should do.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people, it's just like anything else. It's like, like some people need, some people quit heroin cold turkey.
Yeah.
Some people go on methadone.
Yeah.
Some people, you know what I mean? Like it's all an attempt to get to the same space. It's just what people can handle.
I think, yeah, that's true. Some people don't attempt though, is the thing.
Yeah.
Some people, like Batman, starts beating up fucking people
criminals
in the middle of the night and dressed as a bat.
Yeah.
That's instead of coping with losing his parents.
Correct. My aunt hit me up one time and was like, hey, it's been 10 years or whatever. Grandma wanted her ashes, put in the Potomac. And I was like, where does it say that? And then they were like, no, she just said it. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't hear that. She's sitting right the fuck here. Don't ever call me about this again. So like in my own way, like I can't totally let go,
But you got to do something about it before you go, because it's like one of those things. things you hold on to when
Man,
you're
of
gone.
all the shit I got to worry about of things that I have in my possession
Mm-hmm.
after I go, that's way down the list.
Mm.
They're inheriting fucking 60,000 action figures. They got to figure out. I got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, because it's going to end up being their problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's my derailment for the week.
yeah,
How's your week? And hopefully something more lighthearted.
yeah. More lighthearted, perhaps, but not necessarily meaningful, I guess. And very, very short. One was had a nice little family dinner last night. Everybody cooked, and
It looks good. The meatballs and the is it ravioli?
it was tortellini.
What's the difference again? It's just a shape again.
Yes,
Tortellini looks like a little flower almost.
yeah, and
Made of the same shit though, right?
yes, but the ratio is different. So it's more tortellini's more noodle.
Less
And-
filling.
It's filling.
Oh, I like the other one.
And the ravioli is less noodle, more filling.
Yeah, I like more filling.
So anyway, on top of that, though, I do have one bit of interesting thing to talk about. So Saturday night, Laura and I were going to bed, and I had a Zoom meeting that was like pretty fun. We got into like this whole conversation about like the psychology of Superman. That was a pretty fun conversation to have. Psychology of Superman. And we were actually pairing this idea of, Christopher Reeves as like our Superman as children, and then what his accident did to our psyche as a generation.
Yeah, that's interesting.
As like God seeing God fall. And then you fast forward the clocks, and the next real Superman that we get is a much darker, much more hurt, much more psychologically flawed kind of Superman than like the more kind of idealistic one that we were exposed to in the 80s. And
I didn't know Lois and Clark hit you that way.
and if you think about it, like those are the same. That generation is the same penciler, for that movie grown up. So they live through that as well. It's like, anyway. So it was a good conversation, and then.
I mean, we also like it was our time when we went through the death of Superman.
Yeah. Well, so that was like
shortly
phase two.
thereafter, like all the Steel and Eradicator shit. But like
Yeah.
at that moment, before it got ruined to
Yeah.
me, basically, the death of Superman was in the newspaper.
Yeah. I mean, people were out in the streets
I
crying.
made my mama stand in line to buy me that comic book.
People were out in the streets crying when that shit happened. Anyway, that night we went to the bedroom, and we're gonna get freaky. So I went
wear a cape?
to a porn site, right, to watch a little porn together, and it needed age verification for me.
Neat.
Did it make you feel a way about what you were doing?
So I didn't go through with it. I didn't want to connect. It was like you can do it via Facebook profile, via
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, no thanks, and I backed out of that, but it was just interesting to me of like this little hurdle of something that I had never needed before, like,
That's a particular site, I guess.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's the beginning of something coming. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times sites do ask,
So to speak.
Sometimes I don't. The
beginning.
Sites do ask. I link everything to my Google. I don't give a fuck. I have no shame. Everything goes to my Google account.
Yeah. I got to be a little bit more cautious about that type of shit, but yeah, it was just, I was like, it was off-putting to me almost. How dare you, interrupt my little evening here. So I just went to Reddit and did it that way, which is my preferred
There you go.
route of travel.
Tomato.
The real stuff.
Yeah,
The real stuff.
Yeah, it's just 30 seconds here, it's 40 seconds there. It's just a little bit more of it's a harder bag to get into,
Yes.
You need to get the plot details.
It's just trailers.
I got a cliff notes for what happened before this scene.
Yeah, I like a little bit of.
Was it the pizza? Good?
I only do real shit. So even
We know, Bobby. We know.
only even when I go to like the regular sites, like just to hear like a couple talk before is like it does something for me. Like it makes it real. And sometimes these real motherfuckers are starting to get too produced. You can tell they're like buying lights and everything, and then I'm out. Then it's too much of a show. It doesn't seem real anymore. You're doing it for the clicks, right? Because you can get paid now off
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
all that shit.
Yeah, verified. Yeah.
It's like it's not a real moment anymore. not that the money makes it that way necessarily, but you can tell that that's the goal, right? It's not a side effect.
It's like we're fucking. Might as well make money off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we're making money, so we're fucking. Yeah, it's different.
Correct. I was gonna see if there's any notes. I'm not sure that there is.
China is, I think, banning cosplays. Some cosplays.
Really? Why?
Some what?
Cosplay, like I don't think they're just banning cosplays altogether, but I think they can stop you, arrest you, or something if you are if your cosplay is damaging to the image of the country.
I was going to say, is it something to do if it's religious or political imagery?
It's always political. It's fucking China. Yeah. It's always political. To make the country look bad, or the value of the Chinaman, I guess.
The Chinaman. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, this is
interesting.
It's over there just fucking wilding out with censorship.
It's believable. I buy it. I see no need to fact check that. I sounds about right.
Quite.
So yeah, we don't have any news. So other than the HasCon.
That's fair.
We do have a couple questions. We'll go ahead through those. Joe S writes in and says, Joe SP, just to be clear.
Joe
hey, spell wrangling table ragers. Short question this week. So recently I learned about buckle bunnies. They're groupies who love to fuck cowboys.
Yep.
I know other groups have these as well. Yep. Firefighters, police, army.
Anything with a uniform.
What is the equivalent for buckle bunnies for the Nerd Rage crew? Are they skull fuckers? table thoughts? What do you think? Keep up the fine work and glad to have the team back together. Pickerton, did you happen to pass by the Spam Museum on your way from Iowa to the home turf of Minneapolis? What? It's in Austin, Minnesota, the home of Spam.
So I didn't, but when I was in the Minneapolis airport, actually, hold on, I believe there's photo evidence of something.
See, the albums.
Please hold. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should have them in albums because it's just a bunch of pictures. Let me see if I can find it. I know. Yeah, here it is. This is in the mall at... Not the mall. I'm sorry, this airport was so big. There is a full-on Spam store at the Minneapolis Mall.
Hell
so
yeah.
And it says
now.
Local market. So back to his story. What are the fans of the Spam called, do you think? Spam-a-lots?
Oh, let's see.
So obviously it's groupies for music. Normally is what you say. Wrestling is ring rats. Buckle bunnies, lot lizards. If they're truckers, truckers. Yeah,
and they're usually prostitutes as well.
Yeah, and there's I don't know what the name is for people who are fans of law enforcement and things of that nature. But
my dad said for firefighters it was bunk bunnies.
Bunk bunnies, that works. Okay. Buckle bunnies is a rodeo thing. So.
But then I also hear that today there's another name for them, which is an awful name.
Let's hear it.
Slam pigs.
Oh, that's pretty awful. It does not seem to relate to anything in particular.
No idea why. No idea why.
Wow.
I mean, the skull fuckers kind of works, and I mean, yeah. I'm good with that. So.
Yeah.
I mean, are there people out there trying to fuck us? I don't think so.
I had one.
Oh,
I had one.
You didn't get to go through with it. Then.
I couldn't make it happen for whatever reason. She might have been fronting. I was trying to. I offered to fly her down for another night on the town. Yeah, but because it is crazy, right? Like that prospect, like fucking a fan. It's like it's like man, like I come in like a fucking rock star, Then I'll fucking underperform, and then she unsubscribes and writes nasty comments. I gotta block her. But yeah, and then I mean, we even thought about going up there, and it was a whole thing. But
yeah, if someone wants to fuck us, write in at.
Oh yeah, good.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
We have time for the extra moan today, and
I just funky chopper sound.
I just want to put that in there just because.
Yeah, me and Chris are into it. Just go ahead, send me an email.
Yeah, so it was. I don't know, but yeah, skull fuckers works. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know.
I like the table thoughts.
Table thoughts. Yeah, that works too.
Oh wow, table thoughts and prayers. Let's see, the under the table able. I don't know.
Under the table, willing and able.
There you go.
Dude, would you do that? That's some freak shit. Would you do that here?
Do what?
There was a girl that was like, "Look, I'm going to go under the table, and you guys just pod as if everything's going on."
Oh yeah,
and
I'll do it.
And we just
Sure.
I'm down.
As long as Phil's here. Phil's got to be here. Just for the uncomfortableness, Phil.
That would be a show. All right. So Vince writes in, "Hey, NRR Wizards and our special guest star of the week. Hope you are all doing well. As I'm getting older, I don't seem to be dealing with stress as well as I used to. Got a new promotion. I now manage the workload of our entire department and have my nose buried in Excel for reports to our executives.
I love it.
Read them sheets.
I'm a team of one, so I am ill."
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I have to remember that at work because I do a lot of Excel spreading as well.
I'm a team of one, so if I'm ill or on vacation, the workload gets distributed, but the reports don't get done. If I'm sick, I sign in, do my reports, and then log off. I'm handling the job fine. It's tasks and whatnot, but find I'm getting a lot of sleepless nights. Or waking up already thinking about the job and the shit that needs to be done the next day. It's not healthy. So I was wondering, how do you guys deal with any of the stress in your life, professional or otherwise? Any tips, so to speak? A couple quick ones for Chris. We'll do that next. So
I had a job like that when we first met. I quit.
Yeah,
I quit. I didn't quit right away because I'm responsible. I started looking for jobs. Haven't found one yet by the time I quit. But I saved up enough money so that I didn't have to worry about money for 3 to 6 months, depending on how much I stretched it.
Wow.
And then I found a job about a month and a half after I quit. But it's not worth it. It was just not worth it. Life was miserable. I was never off work, even when I'm not working. I'm always stressed out. Like the day before I have to go to work, like I'm anxious and not enjoying my day. So like, it's not even having a day off. Like every day sucked.
Yeah.
It's not fucking worth it. And I've turned down promotions several times over the last couple of years because I know the position I would get, it's going to stress me out more, and I don't need that money. But I guess it also depends on I'm privileged in that I make enough money that I can turn down promotions. But to each their own, man. Like it's like, how much money do I need to pay my bills, and how much money do I need to be, I guess, happy or satisfied? And then anything more than that is extra, man.
yeah.
My first question for him is, why was that job available? Because if you're dealing with that, then the person before you, and I mean, I'll tell you, the job I had, the company I worked for prior to the company I'm with now, before we moved up here, that was an awful job. I had a micromanager boss that had his foot on my neck constantly. He expected me to perform the same, covering 4 states as somebody that covered like Orlando and Tampa. Like, I cannot be in these places as often as he is. There's no way. It was a nightmare, and I got another job.
Yep.
But if you like the company you work for, you report to somebody. Tell them. Just say, I cannot do this. You're going to have to hire somebody to help me, or you're going to have to probably put me in the hospital for a stress-related injury.
Yeah.
There's no way to live your life, man. And I'll tell you, there's companies out there where you're doing the same. You can do the same kind of work and probably get paid better and have half the stress. You just got to find them.
Yeah, I don't know what your situation with wife and kids and stuff. I mean, I know that's a lot of times that's a thing that you have to bring home the money.
Mm-hmm. The proverbial bacon, Joseph.
Yes. I mean, just make plans to like and enact them over the next several months. Be like, have an ultimatum for yourself too. Because like, what happens is you're gonna get used to getting saddled with this shit. And then you're miserable, but you barely hang on there, and you're gonna keep doing it. I can't pull it out right now, but it was someone said that like there's a bad spot in life, which is the worst spot you can be in life. Is just things are bad, but you're dealing with it, right? If things were worse, it would be better for you, because if they were worse, you would actually do something about it. Mm-hmm. But they're not quite that bad, so you are fucking just dealing with shit instead.
You can get addicted to a certain kind of sadness. Mm-hmm. From a song, but it's true. I think about that a lot. Like exactly what you're saying. And the machine at its best keeps you in that spot.
Yes, exactly.
For sure. Keeps you grinding and miserable.
For sure.
You've got to realize,
you're still providing what they want from you, and then you know.
And I think a lot of it boils down to self-worth. You know, you're like, this, people. I have these thoughts sometimes. You know,
table thoughts.
you get everything you deserve. Everything that has happened to you, you know, just kind of waller in yourself a bit and like all this all fucked up shit. I deserve. I have to get through this. This is my penance for being however I've been. Mm-hmm. In reality, that's not true. That's just what we say to ourselves to give us the confidence to get through the bullshit.
Yeah.
And when I say get out the bullshit, you're wading through it. But to be able to grab a vine and pull yourself out, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
But you know, my guy, I think you should have some very, very poignant conversations with whoever you report to and explain to them that this is an unobtainable amount of work that they're giving you and ask for some help or get that resume out there, dog.
And work culture has changed. I mean, there's even been articles written about how people today aren't quote unquote loyal to their jobs anymore. Mm-mm. How like the older generation like kind of looks down on current generation because they stay at the same job forever and job loyalty and something. But like shit isn't the same. They were treated well and have pensions to look forward to at the end of their loyalty or whatever. Now, like companies don't give a fuck about you, so why do you give a fuck about them? Jumping jobs is normal. You find a better deal and you fucking go.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with going from one job to the next if it's for something better.
I'll tell you the only, I won't say the only reason. A big reason why I've stayed with the company I'm with is because they offer a pension. And that's unheard of in today's.
Yes.
And I've done a pretty lousy job retirement planning over the years.
What's the pension rates?
Free money? I have no idea.
I just know like,
what's the
like
payout?
at retirement. Like, do you have steps like 20, 25, 30 or whatever? Like as far as like years of service?
I think it vests at a certain, which I think mine's vested now. It doesn't take long for it to vest. And then I think you just, when you retire, you can cash it out. I don't know if it's at 60, 62 or whatever. Hadn't gotten that far.
And then plus,
it's nowhere near as good as something like if you work a government job and have a pension.
I mean, that's the work a government job.
It's free money that I'm getting, and you know, of course, they do the 401k match and stuff. So.
Yeah. Like, you guys have the multiple income for retirement, and plus the Social Security. You know, you got to get because just one is not going to fucking get you through the rest of your life.
No, it's not.
And be willing to take a pay cut, man. Like money, just like the movie I watched, like it doesn't matter how much money it is, it does not equate time in your life.
Yeah,
you know that shit is priceless.
I have a healthy and unhealthy suggestion. So whenever I get stressed out with the amount of shit that I got to get done, I usually reach a boiling point and I need help to manage it. So like Laura will sit down with me and we'll list out all the things that are bothering me and what we can do about them. Right.
That's healthy.
And then
that's great.
We'll get like all the all right, well, I got 5 reviews on deck that I have to get to. So that's like lingering over me. So like, she'll be like, okay, well then Wednesday, what do you have planned? Okay, nothing. So you're going to do 4 reviews that day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. And that will not, you know what I mean? But like figuring out what the workload stress is, you know, and then organizing it into a way that is going to fit into your life and get done is the healthy way. And then the unhealthy way is that I also drink. So
yeah, or any kind of recreational drugs people do.
Yeah. All right. So he had a couple of quick ones for Chris if he's not on assignment. I'm wondering if there's any video online of any of his matches from the past. I'd love to check it out, so to speak. And secondly, just curious to hear his thoughts on CM Punk's exit from AEW. As always, love the show and the shit you do, Joey. Get those streams going again. Take care, guys. Stay safe.
So unfortunately, I wrestled in an era that was not all taped. Captured. I have a match at my house that it's a single camera. Like so the way we ran our show is we set up a camera, just a bullshit camcorder wired straight into a VCR on a TV so we could see what the fuck was going on. And we recorded everything. I don't have those tapes. I actually sold the tape library for $500.
Really?
Yeah. And then that person has since gotten rid of it. But I have one match of mine that if you're at my house and you ask, I will show it to you. Ricky's seen it. Ricky asked.
Really?
Seen it. So not very many people have seen it. It's probably my best match I ever had, to be honest, and just by dumb luck. Wow. But online, there is one clip of me powerbombing somebody in a montage. That's it. Did
you digitize this tape, by the way?
No.
You should do that.
I didn't. Actually, my brother-in-law made me a disc of it.
Okay, cool. Because I was like tape degrades. Like
No,
you should
it's on
really have it
a
digitally.
DVD-R. CM Punk. So I'll give you guys a little backstory. Do you guys know who CM Punk is?
Yeah, he was out, and then he was doing UFC or MMA, but did not do good, and then he came back.
I know Daft Punk.
That's not him. So CM Punk started wrestling probably around the same time I did back.
Your phone heard me.
Yep, there he is, and that's him in the UFC ring. So he, long story short, ended up in WWE. Cut this what they call the pipe bomb promo, which was this basically a shoot, which is supposedly real, which it wasn't, but about how the establishment didn't work anymore, blah, blah, blah. He was famous for that. He had some really great matches with John Cena, and the storyline they actually did was his contract was up and he won the belt and left through the crowd, beat John Cena at some show and left through the crowd. And well, it all works out that he was really still there. I don't remember what the last straw was at WWE, but he leaves and he goes to MMA. He trains MMA. He has 2 UFC fights, loses them both in the first round. But hey, kudos to the guy for taking the time to go through the training at like 35, right?
Yeah, and getting your ass beat.
Getting your ass beat by like 22-year-olds, right?
It's not fun.
He did some acting here and there.
He did.
He not any, like, he plays a bit character on that Sons of Anarchy spinoff I watched.
I thought he was in some kind of horror movie.
Summer of 21, I believe, ish. No, it was the spring. The fall of 21. Word leaks that he's going to come to AEW. And he does. He comes out and, of course.
It's great fanfare.
He's a Chicago guy, right? Big Chicago guy. Wears the 4 stars and all his gear and everything. He comes out. Huge reaction. He has some really, really great matches. But the word starts leaking out that he is just not getting along with everybody in the back, which is par for the course. So a year ago now, September of 22, he has worked a program back and forth and wins the championship. And AEW does something that WWE wasn't doing at the time they do now. They do it after like a pay-per-view show. They'll do a press conference, right? Mm-hmm. So they're doing the press conference, and Punk's up there, and he's sitting next to the owner of the company, and he's saying things like the VPs that you have here, which is a bunch of wrestlers that basically started this company, they couldn't run a Target, is the line he says. Just rips him a new one. As soon as he leaves, there's a fucking brawl backstage. He gets suspended. The Young Bucks get suspended. Kenny Omega, which those guys started the company, but they got in a fight, and there was all this legal bullshit. Long story short, CM Punk finally comes back, and basically the same thing happens. He gets into it with somebody. Apparently there was this thing like they had started a new show, basically, so he didn't have to interact with these other guys, as silly as that sounds. So a Saturday Night Collision, right? So it's kind of his show to an extent. He's making some of the decisions. One of the younger guys wants to use glass in a spot, and he says, no, we're not going to do that. I don't think it's a good idea. Somebody will get hurt, blah, blah, blah. Well, they did that show in London, and the kid they had a car, and he threw the guy into the windshield. He's like, oh, that's real glass. I wonder what's going to happen. He said it into the camera loud enough for the camera to pick it up. As soon as they go through the curtain, apparently, depends on the story you hear, CM Punk either started beating his ass or choked him or something. Some physical altercation happened right in front of the owner and everybody. Long story short, the owner fired him. I don't think he had much of a choice at this point because it was the second time something like that had happened. Look, 4 sides to every story. I've always enjoyed CM Punk's work way back to the independents, where I've brushed up against people that were working with him. To his matches have always been great, but he just has a fucking shitty attitude and a short fuse, and it's cost him millions of dollars. So
that's on him at this point.
That's on him. Yeah. But that's
I hate that for him.
My thoughts on it are he'll probably end up back in WWE in some capacity until he pisses somebody off, and then he'll wander off into the wilderness.
Rinse and repeat.
End up in some kind of documentary in about 15 years.
Well, somebody said the Dark Side of the Ring in 15 years is going to be lit.
Yeah.
All these stories, because nobody can talk about any of it right now. So, yeah.
Esteban writes in and says, "Good morning, NRR.
Yo,
One of the topics I enjoy most is when you guys stumble into how you are feeling. The Lights and Wires episode hit me personally, especially when Joey mentioned that he didn't like himself. As a fat kid on the inside and currently on the outside, I used to wake up every day and feel like that I wasn't worth the space I took up in life." Damn, that's fucking bleak.
I feel you.
Once I got to high school, I learned about words of affirmation from other kids who felt the same way, and since then in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror and tell myself that people like me and like to be around me. I smile at myself, and then I do my morning bathroom stuff.
I love it.
Which I imagine is quite the routine. Just jerking it, Esteban, going crazy. I don't know why I said
I'm a star, I'm a bright shining star.
At first, it was difficult and I felt stupid, but it worked. I'm really happy that whatever clicked over for Joey is helping him enjoy the sunshine, and I hope that feeling comes to everyone else.
I hope so too, man. It's a life changer. Like I don't do that specifically, but like when I see myself in the mirror now, it's completely different than, I don't know, 3 months ago.
And
it's completely different.
And that's through affirmation?
It's just, I mean, like I said, I don't know what exactly clicked. I still remember that fucking drive to work where I just started smiling. But yeah, my resting face is different now. Like everything is fucking different. Just accepting myself. Like I said before, like my opinions on many things and my outlook haven't changed. They're still on the dark side, but like my acceptance of things is completely different.
He said, other than alcohol, is there anything that helps y'all start or end the day? Love, Esteban.
Fucking.
No, not really.
Like coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I start literally. I really don't.
That's part of waking up. Some people say.
And I said it's for the soldiers sometimes. Those are really weird commercials.
Yeah.
Like, you're my present, brother. It's so weird.
Step brother.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. Really. I mean, nothing
like all kidding aside, it's like I'm calming one way or another. Like if by myself or with somebody else. Like first thing in the morning and last thing at night.
So
like
in the morning, it depends. If it depends on my piss routine.
Your piss routine.
So like if I wake up and I got to piss, I'm not gonna start my day with an orgasm. If I wake up and I can put the piss off for a bit, then I'll start my day with an orgasm.
Okay,
that sounds like that sounds like a British slang term. Put the piss off.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go piss and then orgasm and then start your day.
No, I can't, because I'm a big piss after you orgasm guy.
Yeah, for sure. That's helps with UTIs.
So that has nothing to do with it for me. It just stops all the drip drop shit for
you just gotta flush it out.
Yeah, if you piss afterwards,
underwear is for.
It kills all that. No, it drives me nuts. It's my nuts drive me nuts. Really, if you think about it. No, I don't have any like words of wisdom to offer there. But I tell you something like in terms of like stumbling upon a feeling in my life. In a lot of ways, like I feel pulled on by a lot of people in general that I think want me to be something for them that I can't be. And I find it frustrating, not for myself, but I find myself picking up on frustrated vibes from people. Because I just can't be this person or this thing or whatever, and sometimes it's bad, and sometimes it's selfish motivations on their end, and sometimes it's actually selfless motivations on their end. You know, they look at me and say like, man, like if you would just quit the bullshit, you could excel here.
Yeah,
you know, but like I'm like I can't. Like the bullshit is part of the reason why you are even invested in me in the first place.
Yeah,
you know, so that is something I've noticed about myself recently. Is like sometimes I feel pulled on in a lot of directions to be the thing for somebody, or the person for somebody, or the person that somebody wants me to be.
I mean, isn't that relationships in general in life? Like to some extent, right? There's always a balance between who you are on the inside and who you are to each individual person on the outside, right? Because like you're not the same person to every person. Thinks you're a different person than between themselves.
So I don't know. With me specifically, I don't know. I think most people in my life get the same version.
You don't think it's slightly different at all? It's got
maybe slightly different with my kids.
So you're saying the people that
your work is
the
more
people
relaxed,
you
'cause
work with.
Most of us has a work life, work personality.
That's where I was going with that. But yours, I guess, is pretty much.
I mean, for me, even like with friends, close friends, like you guys, like there's still not that I'm a different person, but there's parts of me that I don't let out or kept back. Depends on who I'm talking to, right?
Yeah, not really me.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I can say is that, like, sometimes if capital S Skullface has to be somewhere, like at a convention, I feel like I emphasize that word weird, at a convention. Sometimes I will. It's not that I change who I am, but I definitely put my best foot forward. Like I purposefully put my best foot forward.
Sure.
Because I'm going to be meeting people for the first time. I don't want them to think that I'm like, if I'm not feeling 100%, or I'm not feeling like bouncing off the walls and, you know, making dick jokes and, you know what I mean, doing a cartwheel and then showing you I can juggle, you know, I put that on just so the person isn't disappointed,
right?
You know, because I've had that, right? I've gone up to people that like I've wanted to meet,
like the NASCAR guy that yawned in my face when I said I mean
exactly,
and that guy, no telling what his week was like to get there, but you
know,
don't ever want to deliver that.
I don't want to be that guy for somebody, you know. So, but it's still me.
It's just turn up. I mean, it's just us on stream. Like it's still me. I don't have different opinions. I have the same opinions. I'm just like turned up.
You know, I'll say the other side of that coin is me in particular. And I work with plenty of people who know me, but you know, I can't be myself wholeheartedly at work.
Yeah, I mean, like as much as I can.
You know, I don't have that levity.
Yeah, and
that's fine. I'm fine with that too.
Right.
I'm completely okay.
And
with
you get paid for it.
Well, yeah,
that's how I see it. I get paid. I get paid to act.
Put on a.
Yeah, and I actually I had a job. I've only had really one job in my life where I had to do that, where I couldn't be myself, you know, and it was when I worked for the state in an office environment, and you know, and I was miserable there, you know, of like. Because I struggle with that, like you know, but like it's not like, you know, it's not like it's a gift and a curse sometimes, right? Because that I think genuineness about me, like it does bring a lot of people to me.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But it also prevents me from moving up in certain places because, you know, I'm not going to do the easy thing just because it's easy. I'm only going to do the easy thing if I want to do it for a reason that's all my own, you know?
Right.
It happens to be the easy thing. It's almost like I lucked out sometimes. I'm like, fuck, I want to talk about this and it's the easy thing.
Yeah.
You know, but usually it's not. And, you know, and it gets me a lot of respect, and not just in this shit, the toy world, but also in my professional world and everything else. It gets me a lot of respect, but it also puts a very densely packed glass ceiling over me in a lot of ways in the same regard. But sometimes I feel pressure in that area, and I'm going through a period right now where I'm feeling a fair bit of pressure in that way. And I'm not exactly sure why. I have some theories, but I'm not ready to talk about that quite yet until I've figured it out. But I will. I'm working on it. And then the other thing is like, you know, the more I do anything and the more I see it emulated, the less I want to do it.
Yes.
And the more I want to do something different.
Yep.
You know,
feel that.
You know, I just saw a video from this fucking bozo. Fucking
Name
bozo.
Him. Dox him.
That you know, just is like, he like copies my format in many ways, but like now he's even copying my point of view. He's just a year late, you know? And it's funny because my point of view got me a lot of shit a year ago,
right?
But now it's safe. You know, that's the cost. That's the cost I pay.
I mean, that is the cost of being pioneer.
Yeah. All right. Then we have, I think there was a few on our Facebook as well. Chris, thanks for posting that.
Oh, so reading comprehension failed. Is that what you're saying? I'm joking. Did you say send an email?
Yeah. No, maybe not. Maybe it did. Maybe it did work because no, there's no comments there. Just the email. So all right. So that all is settled then. And just making sure. Oh, I paid for another Podbean. I don't know why I thought that shit was in May.
Is it biannual?
No, it's annual. But I just got hit for it like yesterday, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Did we cover the spread for this year?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Thanks everybody.
Yeah. Speaking of money and shit. So, side note, right? I missed the Cobra eel. Like I missed it. Yeah.
What? It'll be back around.
So
I was actually gifted one. It's the only way I have one because I just missed the pre-order. But
so I happened to mention it in the Zoom, and Eric B was like, "Oh, I got an extra one. I'll just send it to you." And then,
just got extra ones laying around.
And he hit me up today, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna send you that eel." And I was like, "Hey, let me give you some money for it." And he was like, "No, it's fucking forget it." And I was like, "Let me send you some money for it." And he's like, "No, you've done more than enough." So I just gave him the thumbs down emoji and then donated $100 to Kennedy's Village to fucking sort that out. I win. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. Short show. If I have anything that pops up during the week that I can chime in on, I'll add it to the back end, so to speak. And otherwise,
whole out of the week.
Yeah,
we won't have Chris next week. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no Chris next week.
The Dirty South needs me.
Mm-hmm.
They called me. They said it's been too long.
Come down.
You got to come show us how to do it.
Yeah, and do
scattered, covered, smothered,
chunked,
diced, and cat bitches.
Shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage crew. Shout out to Dante on Facebook and Phil on Twitter and our notes.
X.
And X in our notes. You're right, Joey. X in our notes.
I wish DMX was still alive.
Yeah.
Yo.
He would have said something great. I loved his interviews, man. He would always get on there and just say the most reckless shit. Like, what do you think about Drake? No, I don't like him. Hate him. I hate him. I hate his music. I hate the way he looks. I hate his haircut. I hate
That's genuine.
Yeah, he was. I've been watching like this. I didn't mention it in my Nerd Week, but the Rough Rider Chronicles. It's like a BT documentary. Did you watch it?
No, it just sounds awful.
It's good.
It's a bunch of fat old dudes talking about the good old days. Oh, it's just like what I watch with wrestling. Never mind.
It's an interesting. It's one of those things. Like interesting story though of like how it all kind of worked out and. I think the Locks is kind of the most interesting story there because they kind of came from that circle, but then got on with Bad Boy, and then that sort of started. They looked like they were going to be the ones to kind of get everybody out of the mud, but then that sort of fizzled, and then X came out of nowhere and ended up bringing everybody. But kind of interesting. And shout out to Ricky Ticky Timber on our video.
Period.
and with that,
Flappy Labius.
Tasty Tank. Tight Dick Player.